Here, if you look at this particular diagram, we have the two axes, the OX, the OY axis. Okay, and in this particular explanation, Pareto, he assumed that there are two individuals, individual A and individual B. And the OX axis represents A's utility and the OY axis represents B's utility. And also in this particular diagram, this curve BA represents the utility possibility curve of the two individuals. Here, if you look at this very diagram, okay, I think you can see the point C over here, the point F, the point D, the point E. Yes, this BA over here, it is the utility possibility curve of the two individuals. If through the movement, through the different works undertaken by the government, say, for example, okay, there is a movement from point C to point F. Okay, that means be it individuals A or individual B, okay, they do move from point A or point F. If there is a movement in this manner, what we can say is that there is an improvement in social welfare. Okay, for example, if yes, through the work undertaken by the government, it seems as if B's utility there's a movement, there's an increase in B's utility, which means B utilities lie somewhere here. Okay, which means I won't draw it. Okay, we'll just assume. Okay, if B's through the work undertaken by the government, there is an improvement in B's situation, and as such, B's utility is somewhere here. And if you look at this very point, it means that from point C, okay, looking at this very point, there is a movement. See, from here, from this particular portion, if it lies somewhere here, there has been an increase. Okay, not only of B, so also of A's. Earlier, A's utility, if we started from point C, A's utility is this much, and through the work undertaken by the government, and they lie somewhere, we get somewhere a point in this particular area, which means A's utility has also improved from this portion to this portion. Okay, and further, if we look at this point F, okay, here what happened was there is a Pareto optimality, which means there is an increase in social welfare, which means through the work undertaken by the government at point F, B's utility has also improved, A's utility has also improved. Okay, so now let's have a look at the other point. Let's have a look at point D. Okay, let's have a look at point E. Now, if we look at point D, okay, earlier it was at point A, isn't it? At point C, which means at point C, B's utility is this much, A's utility is this much. Okay, and later, through the steps undertaken by the government, B's utility has increased from point C to point D. That means this area. Okay, even though there is a movement in B's, there is an increase in B's utility from point C to point D, there is still a social welfare. Okay, that means there is still the objective of social welfare can still be achieved as suggested by Pareto optimality. Why is because even though B's utility has improved, okay, from point C to point D, okay, A's utility that remains the same at point C. That means he received as what he did receive earlier. There is no change. Okay. Further, if you look at point E, okay, yes, at point E, it seems as if A's utility has increased. Earlier it was this much, this portion, but now it has increased to this much, till this area. Okay, so it seems as if, yes, at point E it shows A's utility has improved from point C till point E. But even then, till this particular movement, till this particular point also, point E, there is still a Pareto optimality, or social welfare is still achieved. Because why? A's utility has increased, no doubt, okay? But if you look at B still remains the same. He still get whatever he get earlier. There is no change, okay? And as such, there is still, or social welfare is still achieved at these points, be it point D, be it point F, be it point E. But if you look at point Q, okay, Q is it is a point which lies still in this curve BA. Okay, if we look at point A, we cannot say that there is if we look at point Q, we can't say that there is social welfare. Okay, why or how? Is yes, at point Q, B's utility has increased a lot. Okay, whereas if you look at A's utility, earlier it was C, right? But now it has reduced. If you look at this point Q, measured A's utility, it is somewhere, it lies here. Okay, which means A's utility has decreased from point C, from this area, lesser to this very point. So if this happened, there is no social welfare. So according to Pareto, what he tried to explain here in his very theory, he tried to say that social welfare can be achieved. Okay, that means by